This is sports stuff. Betting stuff.
Good chow, because Alex isn't here.
Yeah, we have no Kachow. No Kachow, no Alex. We do have another guest, which we'll introduce here shortly. Uh, no Alex. Alex is visiting his favorite public watering hole on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving when we're recording. So, Alex, if you're out there, you're listening, you're around, we hope that you made it back alive uh, from your nighttime shenanigans. So, this is Sports Stuff Betting Stuff, the number one sports betting podcast coming out of the Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff Enterprise. I'm your host, the original degenerate Muff.
Hello, Muff.
Hello, hello, listeners, hello, fans. Joined alongside the Ohio Homer, the Ohio degenerate, and the capo of the Midwest Crack House, Jim.
Hello.
And last, certainly not least, our guest for today, an avid sports bettor, college football aficionado, and special picks in the NFL. We'll call him the guru of DFS and other things fun in the NFL, Neme.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here.
Welcome to the show. Glad to
Thank
have
you.
you.
It's a big week to have a special guest with everything going on. Big last week of college football and things like that.
We're excited to have you.
Thanks.
It's going to be a fun one. Going to be a fun one. Hear different opinions, so we won't hear about Colorado hate like we typically hear from Alex. I don't
Yep.
know. Maybe we
They,
will. Unsure.
they do have the Heisman winner, though, unfortunately.
Oh,
They have the Heisman front runner.
Yeah. You don't think he's going to win?
I hope
Uh,
not.
I don't think there's any other logical choice, but who the hell knows?
Well, then who deserves it if not him?
That's the thing is I don't know if there's any other deserving player. Ashton Genty is having a once in a 5 to 10 year season. When you think of players like Melvin Gordon, Monty Ball, if you're thinking of the past 5 to 10 years, so it's not as generational as people are making it out to be, in my mind. And after that, let's be really honest, I don't know who's next.
Yeah, it's not a lot to pick from.
Yeah, I feel like once the Barry Sanders records kind of went out the window, everyone lost their love for Gentry. So, oh well.
I mean, I still love him. I still like if we can to see what his 2, 3, and 4 touchdown odds are in a game.
hmm
Not what it once was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, but still fun to see.
I had preseason tickets on Cam Ward, which looked really. He was probably the favorite for I don't know what, like 10 weeks this year, maybe 8 to 10 weeks. Then they lost that nasty game they lost, so that kind of threw that out the window. He is still like 11, 12 to one. So who knows if he has a big week this week? We can maybe do something. We'll
Did you
see.
did you cash it? You
Wish
hold
I did. It was. I think it was a 20. It was like a 20 or 15 to one ticket, and he got to like I think like 2 to 1 was the highest. It was when him and Gabriel were kind of neck and neck, and then
Yeah.
Hunter kind of pulled away.
All right. Before we get into going over last week's recap, Jim and I will introduce our totems, our tokens, our items of good luck. Jim,
The Ohio State hat with the Ohio State flag on the bill. I, I haven't had. I'm like on a 3 week drought, but I'm sticking with the hat. It's the week, so I have to stick with the hat.
all right. It is the week. Mine is my West Virginia conductor's cap, purchased at Topper Thrift for $1, and I am joined alongside my Dirty Dog Tavern hoodie today. So we're gonna
You're
keep
gonna
it
double up the luck.
West Liberty themed. Since people are going to their favorite watering holes, I will wear the hoodie that represents my current favorite watering hole, the Dirty Dog Tavern in West Liberty, West Virginia.
Do we get sponsorship?
Yes, Jim, just like we have all the other sponsors,
All
including
right.
including our exclusive betting app, FanDuel.
FanDuel.
It is FanDuel.
FanDuel.
It's where we put all of our betting apps. Jim, are you cheating again, or are you just on FanDuel now?
I'm still on FanDuel. I haven't. I don't. I'm back from that affair.
He's returned. Nemi, do you have an item of good luck that you usually keep around?
So I figured since I was so special to bring me on for this Ohio State Michigan week, I'd be aligned with Jim and go with the Ohio State crew neck, just
There you go.
right in Muff's face, you know.
There you
Um,
go.
yeah. So we'll go with the Buckeyes.
What a absolute dumpster fire I did by bringing you two together. How this is gonna
Everything
work?
everything happens for a reason, Muff. Everything happens
That's
for a
right.
reason.
All reasons don't have to be positive. How this will work? We'll go over last week's best bets along with our specialty picks, get into the NFL and the college slate, and then get into our best bets and specialty picks for this week, the Thanksgiving episode. Gobble gobble, as this will come out on Thursday morning for your listening and viewing pleasures. So let's get into last week's recap, starting with the man not here today, Alex, on top of the board last week, going 5-2, bringing his overall record at 42-43 for a 494 winning percentage. Alex's losses included the Steelers not covering against the Browns in Thursday Night Football, Army getting destroyed by Notre Dame, not covering plus the points. His wins offset Illinois covering 1.5 at Rutgers. What a miracle that was. Texas Tech covering 3.5 at Oklahoma State. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers covering 5.5 at the Tommy DeVito Giants. Lions covering 7.5 as they take down the Colts. And the Broncos covering 6.5 at the hapless Raiders. Alex again, 42-43 on the season after a 5-2 week. Next is me. I went 3-4 last week, with now bringing my overall record to 46-36 for a 561 winning percentage. My losses included Steelers not covering at the Browns,
Ouch. Ouch. Ouch.
which is ouch. Steelers
Steelers
again.
not covering at the Cleveland Browns, you know? Cleveland
Listen,
Browns got you there.
the Snow Globe Bowl. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Hey, you're
Uh,
gonna blame weather. Okay, that's fair.
I'm not
That's
gonna blame weather. I'm gonna
fair.
say weather definitely had a
It
factor in the
did.
game itself. I'm
It
not gonna
did
say
for
that's the
sure.
reason they lost. It just had a factor in the game.
It did for sure.
Colorado, Kansas did not go over 59.5, which is my bad beat of the week because with about 13 minutes left in the game, it sat at 57 points. So that was kind of terrible for that game not going over. Bama didn't cover 13.5. Did not even close. Didn't even win the game. Lost by many, many points. And the Rams plus the points taking on the Eagles in prime time was an L. My wins for the week were Kentucky plus 20.5 at Texas. The Bucks to cover 5.5 at the Giants, and the Broncos to cover 6.5 at the Raiders. Jim?
I went 3-5, brought my winning percentage to 510. I lost that Steelers game. We should have not gone with the Thursday game. We always break that stupid rule. I lost the Ole Miss game. I lost the A&M game. I lost the Bears. I lost the Texans. But my wins: Iowa minus 6.5, hit it. Illinois minus 1.5, hit it. And I hit the Lions. I hit 3 wins. The Lions are a lock for the year. So without Alex here, I'm just going to say let it ride.
If with no Alex, Alex is usually one that pushes you down that path.
I will put him on the phone if I have to. We're riding with the Lions.
All right, Neme, did you have any fun picks from last week?
I'll just
Any
go off of
parlays
some
or
of the
others?
going off of some of these. I know I had some Maryland last week, so that didn't work out. But their quarterback did get hurt in the middle of the game,
Yep.
or like in the first
Yep.
quarter. That didn't help anything. Let's see, what else did I see? The Browns. I didn't have the Browns, but I didn't obviously Browns fan, so that was fun to watch. Browns are actually have a really good record on Thursdays. If we're talking trends or anything like that. And then looks like Bama, they ruined their season, ruined your betting card
Mhm.
and their season all in the same time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That
um,
happened.
did they really ruin their season?
yeah,
A lot of
that's a good point.
speculation.
A lot of good. That's a good point. ESPN always gets their SEC teams in. Haven't we learned anything?
That's true.
McElroy was a little quieter this week than he was last week.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens this week, but I think they need some help to get in. Probably. Yep. Nothing else from me on the recap.
All right, and our specialty picks, starting with the Mike Allstott hit stick pick of the week.
Pow, pow, pow.
It was an L, bringing the hit stick pick to 7-6 on the season, as the Steelers did not cover 3.5 on Thursday at the Browns.
We got to step our shit up. That hit stick cannot be a loser. So we got to turn this
Is
boat
that
around.
mostly your guys' like play you agree on kind of like
That's the lock.
your boom boom pow play of the
Yeah.
week?
That's
There
it.
you go.
Yep.
Bingo.
There you go.
Next in the Midwest Mobster risky pick of the week,
Get out of here.
the moneyline dog of the Rams was not victorious, bringing the risky pick to 5-8 for the season.
And
So
that's going to be a straight up dog,
that's a
correct?
straight up dog. Yep,
All
every
right.
week straight
See,
up dog.
picking up. All right.
You're getting it. And in the sell the nutting team Bob parlay,
Oh,
We did everything but win the Steelers game. We were the hit stick pick away from the
Wow.
parlay hitting this week, as we had the Lions cover 7.5, the Broncos cover 6.5, and Illinois minus 1.5. The only loss being on Thursday, so we didn't even get to Friday with this. The Steelers obviously lost outright to the Browns in Thursday night football.
But I think that means the boat's turning. We did this before where we would only miss a leg, and then all of a sudden we hit it once. So
Yeah.
I think we're on the upswing.
Yep. So we'll see where this goes. Jim, can you give Neme a little history on the parlay and some of its namesakes
It's been the Lolita Whale parlay.
in
It's
honor of Jim
been
Irsay's whale,
it's been the Urban Meyer risky pick parlay.
in honor of his fingers at the chop house?
It's
Yep.
been the Neil Brown. Was that it? Was Neil Brown risky pick
It
parlay?
was, yeah, it was because it was risky just to have Neil Brown on your coaching staff.
I think that's it. There might have been another name in there I'm missing, but essentially it has to do with just the stupidest shit.
I love it.
So right now it's in honor of Bob Nutting, and he should sell the team.
Yeah.
Should sell the Pirates to somebody.
Yeah, I would agree. You better do so before they get rid of their ace.
Yeah.
Listen,
You got what? You got about 2 years, something
we
like
got
that.
2 years before he goes west
That's correct.
or northeast, one of the two.
Yep, exactly.
Either West Coast or New York, Boston. Those are the options.
Yeah.
Jim, you want to talk about your
The Fox are Cox parlay. It was the Big Ten teams who did not get the spotlight because Fox are Cox. Uh,
I like that.
Iowa won and Illinois won. I thought it was a good game. It was an okay game. Wisconsin took the L.
took a big old
Alex,
Wisconsin took a big L.
yeah, I thought when Alex put Northwestern with the plus 10.5, I was like, ooh, yeah, it was a big ooh. And then at that point it was dead in the water, so the over was not worth it. So, but we took the L, but it's going to return this week.
Is it
It's going
between
to return this week.
you and yourself, you and
I'm
Nemi,
doing
you and
it by my
Alex?
own. I'm doing it on my own.
You don't want any input from anybody else, even
You
like
guys
our
can
guest.
contribute. You guys can contribute if you want. But I knew if I tried to like say, Muff, we're gonna do this and you're gonna help me, you'd be like, no, and put your feet in the ground. So I'm just saying I am putting the parlay in. If anyone wants to contribute, they can.
I will say Northwestern's in a similar spot this week when we get to it.
Yeah.
Except this time they're at home and facing a maybe a little bit more of a not a superior team than Michigan usually is. So I don't know. If you liked them
The
at 10.5 at Michigan, you might like them at getting 7.5 at home against Illinois.
the only catch to this is Penn State and Ohio State cannot be in this parlay.
All right, fair enough.
In Oregon?
Yes. Because they'll never have a primetime game. They'll never be on a noon game.
They'll
So can you
never be in the
explain
Big
the
Ten.
Fox or Cox part of it? Like, so it's on. It's. Can you explain that?
If Fox are Cox, but Muff won't let me spell like I have to be PC.
Oh
No,
yeah,
I
because
get.
that really came to
Well,
fruition on Saturday when you put the graphic up.
Right.
okay.
Anyway, give them the history, if and for the listeners is why Fox as a network are Cox, Jim.
Because they have the primetime pick of the game they want at noon because they're big noon, as you know.
Yep.
And because Oregon and Washington are West Coast, they will never be on a noon game. Ever. Because that would be a 9 o'clock game for them.
Oh, you're saying at home because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like Washington has been on it.
But
No,
they won't be on they'll be away, but they won't play at home.
got it. Got it. Okay, I got it.
So, and because they won't like adjust the programming, like have a night game, we're stuck with the primetime games being on fucking Peacock.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Peak. Okay, now I get the Fox or Peacock.
Fox are
I get
Cox.
got it now. Got
Right.
it. Yeah, I'm getting there quick.
You're doing good.
All right.
Picking up. You're picking up. All right, so that's from last week. Let's get into discussion on this week's games. Starting the NFL on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving Day, football, Thursday, starting with the Bears, traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions favored by 10.5, over under 48.5 points. Jim, I think we know where you're leaning.
Detroit Dan's gonna have a big old turkey leg.
Before or after his three
Both.
venti cold brews.
Probably during his cold brews, on the sideline, after. This man is an animal.
He does not stop scoring for anybody in his path.
No.
That's for sure.
Nope.
He's not. Do you have any concern about the Bears secondary in this game against the Lions passing game?
I have no concerns. Zero.
Zero, zero concerns.
Nope.
Caleb Williams, not concerning.
I think they break him in half. You're not gonna
Caleb's been
rattle me.
I,
Caleb has been playing a little bit better the last couple of weeks.
He
Got a new
has.
OC. 10.5 is a lot. Is a lot of points. But I don't mind it. I probably lean the Bears just because the 10.5 Lions, I believe, will win the game. But I don't know. Amon Ra a little banged up.
yeah,
That I forget the Lions defender that they lost a couple weeks ago.
Anzalone.
Anzalone. Yep. So I don't know. I think
Hmm.
the Lion. I think the Bear. I'm not gonna. I think the Bears can hang around. That's for sure. We'll see
As
this
you'll
week.
see as a guest of the show, I do some shit that is just doesn't make sense. And this is one of those
Uh,
that
I don't know if this doesn't make sense. The Lions have been
Yeah,
covering
Lions
machine.
are a force.
I'm
Yeah.
This is
hammering it. And
this
I
is th
don't
I don't know. Does Thursday Thanksgiving mean something different in your mind?
it means I'm gonna watch them roll.
Okay. I mean, we've typically stayed away from Thursday games because of all of the outliers to the typical trends.
It's tough. Thursdays are tough. Similar to Fridays in college football. I don't mess with that either. It's always underdogs and weird stuff. So
All right. Next we have the Giants in Jerry World playing them boys. Cowboys cover favored by 3.5, over under 37.5. We have Tommy DeVito unsure of his status for this game. Giants have obviously released Daniel Jones, who's now been picked up by the Vikings. We may see Drew Lock. Who knows what the
def,
hell's going on in this one?
definitely doesn't sound like DeVito from what I hear.
No.
Yeah, no.
Cooper Rush for the Cowboys. This is just a game that we should just strike from the record, take a nap in the middle of the afternoon, wake up, and hopefully a bet if you placed it one.
I have to go to two in-law. I have to go to my parents and then to my in-laws' house, and I'm gonna make the drive when that game starts because that game is gross.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I don't even want to have anything in this aside from I probably will just because. Um, let's just shoot for fun and let's go for the over. Let's just hope for points.
Fine with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Let's just have fun. And in the prime time, the nightcap, we have the Dolphins traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Packers favored by 3.5, over under 47.5. Tua in the cold is the headline in this betting discussion.
Tough. Two in the cold is the main storyline for sure. Um, I think the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins scare them a little bit. I haven't really loved how the Packers have been playing as of late. So Dolphins are, Tua got hurt. Tua came back. There's Tua is starting to play pretty well. Getting Joe New and I don't know. Joe New Smith is like the new Tyreek on that team. They don't throw to Tyreek anymore. They just throw to Joe New Smith. So I think the Dolphins will hang around. They could possibly win the game. I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad take at all.
Yeah, I am interested in watching this game. Interested to see how the Dolphins play in Green Bay. I think the reported temperature is going to be in the 20s, I
Yep.
think. And Tua has not fared well. I think he's 1-3 in games under 30 degrees against the spread. I think 0-4 straight up.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those were them as favorites though. Like 'cause they're usually not
Yeah,
dogs too often. This year they haven't played well, so they're dogs. But
right. Uh, yeah, if I'm gonna go for this one, I would give me the Dolphins plus the 3.5 in a close game. But I'm gonna stay away from any real bets here. Uh, we're gonna do Black Friday action. We have the Raiders at the Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 12.5, over under 42.5. AOC getting the start for the Raiders. Pacheco likely to be coming back in this one.
you think
12 and a
Pacheco's
half.
probably like 50% workload, or what do you think?
They'll probably limit him to like
That's what I figured.
10 to 15 snaps, like
Yeah,
somewhere in that
nothing wrong with
range.
Hunt. Nothing wrong with Hunt. So
No,
yeah,
no, I think it'll just ease him back in a game that might I mean, the Chiefs, I believe, are going to win this one easily. 12 and a half, still a big number. And the Chiefs don't
They don't
typically
cover
cover.
well. Right.
It's really double digit favorites in the NFL don't really hit, to be honest. But um, yeah, I could see this one being like a maybe like maybe like a 28-10 or something like that. I don't know. Something doesn't seem like the Raiders are going to score very much. O'Connell, that's nasty.
No, I mean, he's pretty much going to be looking for Brock Bowers all day.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what everybody in the Raiders has been doing this year. I like that thought on a lower scoring game to go with the under. The Chiefs just trying to control the game, get out with a win. Don't care too much about style points in this. Yeah, if I'd venture, I'd go to the under, but definitely not going to be a best bet by any means.
No.
Nope.
Moving into Sunday football in the NFL, starting with the Chargers at the Falcons. Chargers favored by 1.5, over under 48.5. J.K. Dobbins, unlikely to play in this game.
Out.
Sprained MCL.
Yep.
Phew.
Out.
Officially out now. I saw doubtful last
Yeah,
I saw.
I believe so. Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
But they said we'll miss some time, so that could be
Okay.
in multiple weeks.
Yeah. So Chargers coming off a loss to the Ravens. Falcons. I haven't even kept up with the Falcons aside from what Alex says, just because he's a Kirk Cousins fan. Uh, just because of the J.K. Dobbins situation, I'm gonna stay away from this one. But if I was forced, I would take the Chargers to cover.
I don't know. Without JK, ugh, I'm staying away. If I had to, I'd lean the Falcons.
I agree with the Falcons lean. Chargers have had some tough games in a row as well, so now they have to travel to Atlanta. Atlanta usually plays better at home in the dome. Um, Atlanta might be off a bye as well, so I think Atlanta would be the
I
lean.
think you're right.
Yep, Atlanta for me. Chargers off the Baltimore game. Yeah,
They're tough. Harbaugh's making them tough. I feel like you two are just anti-Harbaugh.
Oh,
eh,
maybe.
I'm happy Harbaugh's not at Michigan this week because they
Yeah,
probably lose.
it's true. Next we have the Colts at the Patriots. Colts favored by 2.5, over under 42.5. This is another one of those games I have no interest in keeping up with at all, aside from maybe some fantasy stuff with Drake May.
I think it'd be an entertaining game. I wouldn't put money on it, but if it was on my TV as like my only option on a Sunday, I would watch it.
Well, I can tell you the public's taking the Colts, so
Yeah, absolutely.
that's a very easy click. But in the NFL this year, it seems the public has been winning a good amount. So no lean for me first game.
Oh, wait, can you say that again? What has the public been doing?
They've been winning, especially public favorites have been winning a lot. So
Jim,
Not last
that
week.
is totally in contention with your NFL is rigged based on all of your bets losing last week.
That
I
did not
told you,
happen
you
last
just
week.
picked the bad ones. That was the problem.
yeah, yeah. This would be like I'm showing like a 70-some% consensus on Indianapolis road favorite. New England winning would probably make a lot of sense, but I don't know. Everyone was all gung ho on Drake May like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, saying how he was, trending up, good, one of the good or better rookie quarterbacks, and then last week he didn't play well, and everyone stopped talking about him. But I don't know. New England seems kind of sneaky.
Yeah, I agree with that take.
All right, Texans at the Jags. Texans favored by 4.5, over under 43.5. Neme, just so you know, Jim was a Chargers fan and decided last offseason that his fandom was up for grabs, and using a very objectively subjective process, came to land on the Texans as his new
Oh,
NFL team.
I thought he was going to say Jaguars.
No,
That would not. He might be switching again if
no,
it's the Jaguars.
no. I'm hammering the Texans. So
You are hammering the Texans, even though a lot of the metrics, even though it's against the Jaguars, are saying the Texans not not too good.
yeah, I'm hammering it.
All right, well, guess what? We're going to be against each other because I'm going to take them Jags plus the points coming off a bye.
All right.
I'm going to stay out of the way of you two because that's probably a game I'm not going to touch. But you guys both mentioned some pretty good parts where Jags off a bye. Houston hasn't really been playing the greatest, but Jacksonville's just really, really bad.
That's
Joe
why
Mixon had Joe Mixon had a down game last week. Maybe he crushes this week. I don't know. Nico Collins getting more and more and more involved. He's been hurt. They kind of eased him back a little bit. I think he had 2 straight weeks of touchdowns called back, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
Definitely,
think
I
so.
definitely know the last week there was. I don't know about two.
Yeah, the other week before there was a screen pass as well
Yeah.
that he took to the house, and they called the first play of the game actually against the Rams. But yeah, no, stay away from me.
Jags suck so bad. Give me it.
This is
Yeah, you'd think they'd want to lose for a pick as well.
Yeah.
ah, what do they want? Seahawks at the Jets. Seahawks favored by 1.5, over under 41.5.
You know what? We forgot something in Jacksonville. I think Lawrence is back, right?
Yeah, that was actually, you're right. That was something that was else that was playing into
Oh,
my conversation. Trevor Lawrence
So
back.
that probably changes some things as well. So Muff still on Jim still on Houston.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah, that hurts a little bit, but yeah.
all right.
I knew there was another piece of information I was missing in that one, and it was the Trevor Lawrence situation.
That's why you brought me on.
There you go. Just keep us honest. I
I'm
appreciate
trying.
it. Seahawks at Jets. Seahawks favored by 1.5, over under 41.5. I don't want anywhere near this game.
You know
Nowhere
what?
near this game.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Oh, of course you are.
But
Yep,
Brees Hall injury popped up today as well. Questionable. So I don't know if that changes anything, but
I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Is this the anti-Jets pick, anti-Aaron Rodgers pick, anti-vaccine pick? What are you going for?
I just think the
Anti-vaccine
Seahawks
pack? Is
can
that what
beat the
this is?
Jets, man. Calm down.
Is this an anti-vaccine
This is
pick?
just a good pick. I'm just going for it.
Jets in shambles. So I don't blame you for any of this.
yeah, again another one where public's going to be all over Seattle. You know, small road favorite. Better people think they're the better team. The Jets are terrible.
Traveling all the way
So,
across the country, Jim.
yeah, I don't for a 1 p.m. Yeah, I'll be staying away, but gross game.
Probably a cold game too.
Yeah, potential. I mean, if it's snowing all weekend, maybe they
Hmm.
got some snow too.
Any thoughts, Jim?
You're not rattling me, Muff.
Aaron Rodgers is going to put on his suit. It's going to be
Old
good to
man
go.
might break.
Yeah,
He might. He might. Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals favored by 2.5, over under 47.5.
I'm interested in this for the money line dog.
This was an interesting. I don't think it's an interesting line. I think people have. I mean, I think the sports books have been valuing the Bengals more, especially over the past 2 3 weeks, and against a Steelers team coming off a loss. Eh, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, throwing the ball around the yard. Steelers have been susceptible if they can't get to the quarterback. The problem that I have with that thought is the Bengals have a hard time protecting the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is going to be a slug 'em out. Give me the under in this game, under 47.5.
based on that, I'm seeing temperatures below freezing and a little bit of wind. So that plays into the under's hands. As far as the line goes, I don't really ever bet Pittsburgh as favorites, but when they're underdogs, I'm interested. So definitely a lean to Pittsburgh, and usually Cincinnati. When it rains, it pours on them. So when things are going good, they're all happy go lucky, and when things are bad, they're all pointing fingers and Jamar Chase is pouting and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think Pittsburgh leans fair.
In the cold, Jim, what type of outfit do you see Joe Burrow coming into the stadium with?
I think he's wearing sleeves.
He's got sleeves.
Yeah, he's wearing sleeves.
This is no holes in the back of his shirt.
No, just sleeves.
What color hair? Blonde still, or is he changing?
Yeah, I think he'll still be blonde.
All right.
Here's a question. Does Ohio State claim this version of Joe Burrow?
We don't really talk about Joe Burrow right this
I don't,
second.
it's not fair
Ah,
for them.
so we
It's
don't
not fair
claim
for
this
them to
version
do
of
that.
him.
It's the wrong week to talk about anything but this week, Muff.
Just curious. Just want to know.
No distractions.
No distractions. All
I would
right.
say it's not fair for Ohio State to claim Joe Burrow. No.
Okay. Remember, hey, see, Jim, another opinion from others. I'm not saying that you always claim him, but sometimes you
I,
do flirt with that. That's all I'm
It's
going to
not
say.
fair.
You flirt with it, but say you do. Uh,
he claims Ohio State.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess. But didn't that who was that coach that LSU got as the offensive guru when he was there that supposedly got him over the hump? I forget who that was now. Joe
Yeah,
Brady, maybe, or something like that.
Yes, that
yeah.
But
sounds right. Yeah.
everyone, they said that he really took a turn when Joe Brady became like the offensive assistant for LSU, and so I don't know. LSU can
Well,
have him. We have
if
other
the
guys.
stories of Urban Meyer and his coaching are true, I'm pretty sure Joey B did not get a lot of attention.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree. I would agree.
I mean, Urban Meyer might not even know who Mike Rabel is.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think that was a tongue-in-cheek moment, but still hilarious. A hilarious soundbite.
I don't know.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
Think he knows who Bobby Carpenter is? Does he know who the general is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who Bobby is. I think it's hard not to know Bobby Carpenter.
All right, how about AJ?
I would question it.
All right, next we got the Titans at the Commanders.
Bum, 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 bum.
Commanders favored by 5.5, over under 44.5.
Did they cut their kicker?
He's hurt. I think he's on IR.
Wait, the Washington kicker from last week that missed the.
Siebert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Are you
he's
serious? I didn't
yeah,
see that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he went on the IR. Or is injured.
Wow.
I'm assuming they
Oh
put him
God.
on the IR if he's injured because there's no reason to hold that spot for a kicker. But
I have to look that up. That's fine. I did not see that.
I got a good chuckle when I saw an injury report, and I believe it's that he went on the IR. I don't think he missed
I
that.
hope so. 'Cause that was bad.
It was hilarious, is what that was. The Commanders.
He's an IR.
Okay, I thought so.
Wow.
The Commanders, I don't believe have a win over a team with a winning record this year. They're in that mode, and obviously have had a few close games in the past weeks, including the one with the Bears. All of that being the case, Titans. I'm gonna take the Titans. I'm gonna take the Titans plus the points in this one.
I don't think that's a bad pick. I really don't.
I'm gonna stay with the plus the points.
Levis is dangerous. That guy
Nice.
make. Did you see his head straight down in the ground, run after the interception like it's like high school football or something? And like, oh dang it, I gotta go get this guy.
He's an absolute menace. He's like a bipolar quarterback, and you just never know what you're going to get. And I just think we're good. I think, Jim, this is like Alex talking about the good and bad versions of like Kansas State and Iowa State. I think we get the good version of Will Levis this week.
Yep.
Might want to sprinkle that money line then, because if it's good Will Levis, they might just win the game. If it's bad Will Levis, they lose by double digits.
You're right. There might be a little bit of fun there.
Yeah,
Other thoughts on that game?
No.
nothing for
All
me.
right. Cards at Vikings. Vikings favored by 3.5, over under 44.5. Vikings now have Daniel Jones in the
I've stopped talking
facility.
about Daniel Jones. Like, it's not gonna make a damn bit of difference.
I think this is a good
I
security blanket for them if Sam Darnold gets
I
hurt.
I will say the signing makes a lot of sense. Who was their backup before that?
Yes,
What
exactly. Do you know who this
wasn't it?
person is?
There was I forget his name now, but he just comes in and whips interceptions and stuff. He throws touchdowns, but he throws interceptions, kind of like Will Levis.
Yeah, but
Honestly,
he's
I
not gonna
forget.
make an impact in this game.
No.
Unless Sam
But
Darnold gets
the,
hurt.
the the signing made sense in my opinion.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones can at least play football. So, well, maybe.
First round picks. You do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Cards right in the hunt in their division. Vikings obviously the top of theirs. I'm going to stay away from this just because I honestly have nothing to consider in this that I feel any type of confidence in.
That loss last week to Seattle in that nasty 16-6 game, I heard that was weather related. I'm pretty sure it was like kind of windy and rainy, and like
Yeah,
because they
it
were playing
was
real
an
good
outlier.
football. They had 4 straight wins before that, and then
Mhm.
kind of gross, nasty game last week. Maybe they bounce back. Minnesota's kind of been downtrending in my opinion.
Yeah. Justin Jefferson has had a couple non-Justin Jefferson type games. This could be a breakout game for him. Um, he can only stay down for so long, I think. I think he's due. So this could be one of those games for him. Uh, but staying away from myself.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Bucks at the Panthers. Bucks favored by 5.5, over under 46.5.
I don't know why we're not hammering the Bucks here.
Something about the Panthers right now that I'm just not a fan of going against them with anything more than about 3.5 points.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm a
maybe
cheer for points in this game. I think this could be a shootout.
I'm good with the over on it. I don't know about Carolina, like, so public perception, right? They just played the Chiefs really close. Oh my gosh, maybe they aren't that bad. But
It's against the
now
Chiefs
maybe
as well.
they get steamrolled. Tampa Bay's one two-headed monster with Bucky and White. They can pound it
Evans
at
is
them.
back.
Yep. Yeah, I
So
don't know.
there's a,
I'm
there's
gonna
a
lean
lot of
on the
reason to have confidence in the Bucks, Jim, and I'm not going to steer you away from that.
nope.
I just don't feel confident enough.
Yep.
You going to do it? You in?
I don't know. I'm leaning it. I'm
All
leaning
right.
it.
Rams at the Saints. Rams favored by 3 over under 49.5. I have no idea what to do with the Rams anymore. I
I
thought I
like
had
the
a beat on
Rams.
them. You do?
Yeah, I think dome game, so the away doesn't really matter. Um, yeah, I think the Rams bounce back after they just kind of laid an egg in a big game. They like to win feel like they like to win these kind of games against, opponents that aren't as superior as them. A lot of talent. Saints have some problems guarding against the pass. Stafford might have a little bit of a field day with Cup and Nakua. So I think the Rams do it.
I'm gonna
I
stay
don't
away.
think that's a bad pick.
What do you got?
Yeah, Jim, what are you doing?
I'm debating it. I've been thinking about it since I saw it on your card. I don't know. I'm stuck between might put them both on the Bucks game and the Rams. I don't know.
What did you like about? Oh, did you like the Saints at first before or
No, I
no?
like the Rams.
Oh,
I think that was a good pick.
yeah.
I don't want.
I
I'm
think
in
so.
the
I think
hunt
it's
for
gonna come.
500 with Muff. I'm trying to like stay above 500. I have not shotgun blast and put a bunch of picks on all year, but like I'm feeling dangerous this week.
Thanksgiving,
Right.
YOLO. Let's do it.
I really should. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I like the cut of your jib.
Who, who'd you like, Muff?
If you had to force me on that, I'd take the Rams, but not gonna do it.
Okay.
Eagles at the Ravens. Ravens favored by 3 over under 51.5.
I'm not betting the Eagles game the rest of the year.
They got to lose at some point, right?
I it's not Lamar Jackson playing against the Steelers, which
Do you know there's week 14 buys this year?
yeah,
So like the Baltimore has a buy next week.
it's
Kind of
yeah
wild.
because of where Thanksgiving came in the season.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Kind of
Um,
benefits, and it's a little bit of a discussion topic. Kind of benefits the playoff teams, right? Week
yeah,
14 bye.
yeah, it should.
And I
It should
think
benefit them.
you could double check me, but Baltimore, Washington, there's another week 14 bye that's like in the playoffs too. So there's like three teams that it could benefit greatly for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation. I was listening to who was it? Pardon My Take today, and they were talking about Lamar Jackson. I think it's 3 games in the past season and a half, 2 seasons. So I guess it would be season and a half at this point. That a Lamar Jackson led Ravens team has been held under 20 points. All 3 of those instances are against the Steelers. So if anything, I would lean towards the over in this game. Ravens put up the
Yeah.
points, Eagles match them.
Well, yeah, I don't think there's a problem with that. I think Baltimore uh, -3 is tough. I think they win the game, but could be. I don't know. Saquon Barkley's insane,
Yeah,
but Baltimore's got a rush defense. Their passing defense is garbage. So I don't know. Devontae Smith. He's been hurt the
he's
last
been
couple
hurt.
games.
That's the
So
problem with their passing game is it's AJ Brown
yeah, and I guess the tight Calcaterra and
Saquon Barkley.
Goddard.
That's
Yeah, exactly. Saquon's. I think Baltimore can keep Saquon in check. It's a lean, not in my plays, but
yeah.
I think Baltimore can do it at home.
All right, next 49ers at the Bills in Sunday Night Football. Bills favored by 6.5, over under 44.5. Brock Purdy questionable.
You know,
Weather we expect to be influencing this in some way, even if it's just cold. There may be much snow on the ground. With all of that in play, I don't care who plays and who doesn't play. I'm gonna stay away.
I might at least have to wait for more information. That's
Yeah,
for
if
sure.
you want to get ahead of this, maybe go for the under, just because.
Yeah, 44.5 seems kind of high if it's really a snow game.
Right. So if you want to take that chance, go for the under, but I'm gonna stay away until more information is available. Jim?
No, I'm staying away.
All right, and Monday Night Football, we have the Browns taking on the Broncos. Broncos favored by 5.5, over under 41.5.
I'm taking the Broncos.
Yeah.
Following
This
that
is
lead,
my what
Jim.
would Alex do pick.
I'm following your lead on this, Jim.
Lean Broncos. I
I
mean,
just can't see it 2 weeks in a row from the
nah.
Browns. I think Jameis can only have so much fun in the snow and in the cold weather.
Yeah, he's probably due for 3 interceptions this game.
It's in Denver. You know our
Or-
boy Alex would hammer this. I'm doing it for Alex.
And Denver's cooking. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're just in a good spot. Sean Payton does not look like the worst QB drafter in the world anymore.
No, he
And
doesn't.
the Browns won their divisional big games. Now they lose, get the better pick.
Right.
It only makes sense. They play the ones that matter, screw their own teams in the division,
This
and
is
carry on.
this one of those Myles Garrett doesn't show up games?
Well, can't yeah, he showed up, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, just he had his highlight game and now it's
Yeah.
stay in the wings a little bit. Don't have any splash plays. We're just gonna exist on the field.
Yeah. It really just seems like one of those that Winston whips 3 interceptions all over the field, forces stuff and doesn't go well.
We stopped giving the ball to Nick Chubb for some reason.
Yeah, he's still coming back, but
Yeah.
yeah. Him and Ford kind of 60-40 it, but there's no reason to run Nick Chubb into the ground right now,
Yeah.
really.
No, there isn't. I agree. All right. That wraps up the NFL slate. Gonna move into the college football world, starting with Turkey Day football, Thanksgiving, Memphis at Tulane. Only on here because of Tulane's situation. Tulane favored by 13.5, over under 55.5.
I think Tulane wins, but I don't think they cover.
They're already in their championship game, right?
I believe so. I think they're
Yeah.
fighting
Yeah,
for they're
so
they're fighting for at this point the highest seed that they can get or the highest ranking that they can get.
okay.
Memphis
Um,
isn't a slouch, and there's a lot of pressure on Tulane, and I just don't think they. I just don't think they cover. I just don't.
yeah, I'd say no play, but lean probably Memphis, keep it close, score some points on them as they know that Tulane knows they got the championship next.
Yeah. I, nothing wrong with that. Memphis plus the points in this one. Buckhole's puckering up a little bit. Butthole's puckering up a little bit. Uh, yeah, I can get on board with that. Moving into Friday, Black Friday football in the Big Ten, Minnesota at Wisconsin. Wisconsin favored by 2.5, over under 42.5.
Is this for bowl eligibility for Wisconsin?
Yes, they're playing to get into the bowls. Yes, and Minnesota is already in, and um, yeah, I don't know, so tough. I think Minnesota's such a better team than Wisconsin.
Yep. But they're coached by Luke
Mr. Row
Fickle.
the boat's not gonna lay down for anybody.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard game.
Yeah,
Wisconsin's coached
I
by
think
Luke
this could be
Fickle.
one of the more interesting games to watch.
Oh, it's gonna be a nice Friday game for
Yeah,
sure.
it's because
Yeah,
I agree it's going to be competitive. I don't think anybody's going to back down. It's just going to be a fun Big Ten game. I think.
Minnesota was in the potential my money line underdog parlay, but I left them off. But they were cut at the very end, so I like them.
Next, we have Oklahoma State at Colorado. Colorado favored by 16.5, over under 65.5. Bum, bum, bum. Colorado needs a win plus some help to get into the Big 12 championship game. Um, Oklahoma State's been garbage. This isn't really a rivalry.
No, I think
They
they
try.
cover.
You think who Oklahoma State does, or
I think Colorado covers. I would lean that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean towards that too. Giving Travis Hunter all of the reasons in the absence of any more, at least meaningful games aside from potential bowl game. I think they let him show out in this game. He shows off his cardio skills, plays all sides of the ball at all times, and they try to get him the ball whenever possible on offense.
Yeah, and they're gonna run stats up.
Yeah, I would lean towards Colorado covering, but I'm not interested in actually watching this game, so I'm gonna stay away.
so I brought it up before the show. So if Arizona State, Iowa State, and Colorado win, BYU has to lose, and Colorado still needs some help from the other members of the Big 12. So I wouldn't say that they're probably a long shot. Um, but yeah, maybe they just get Hunter the Heisman and go from there. Feed them. I don't know.
Yeah. Miami, Ohio at Bowling Green. Bowling Green favored by 2.5, over under 39.5. Give them to me, boys. Give me Bowling
Ooh,
Green to
what are you gonna
cover.
do? Yep,
Give
I
me
agree.
Bowling Green to cover.
Yep, me too.
This is my. I took them shortly after their game against Penn State, and they did not cover. But I'm pretty sure since then, Bowling Green has been on a covering tear. I'm going to take them.
You might want to check, but I think they got a quarterback injury to worry about that I heard.
I don't care.
Um,
Zero
but yeah,
cares. They're going to
um,
throw that
but
tight
yeah,
end. I forget the tight end's name, but
stud.
he's a stud. He's an
I
NFL.
heard.
He's an NFL tight end.
Yeah, they he should probably be the best tight end. I forget what award it is, but the best tight end in the country. But that guy from Penn State seems to get all the hype because he plays on the bigger stage. Number
Uh,
44 on
he
Penn
snaps
State.
the
But
ball. He runs the ball. He
yeah,
throws the
he's a
ball.
Taysom Hill, right? He's the Taysom
He's
Hill of the Penn
he's
State.
he's the
But
Travis Hunter of the Big Ten.
a lot of people say that Bowling Green guy is actually better. But
Yeah, I mean, I watched him play against Penn State, and I was like, "Who's this guy?
yeah,
Why is he playing for Bowling Green and not somebody else right now?" This is really my
right.
first thought. But yeah, I don't. I'm honestly, I don't even care about the quarterback situation. Just feed the ball to that man, figure it out.
Yep.
Mississippi State at Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl. Ole Miss and Old Jackson Fart favored by 26.5, over to 61.5.
For the first time, probably all season, I am staying away
From what? First all from Ole
from an
Miss
Ole
or
Miss
what?
game. Yep,
Jim is a Lane Kiffin lover, a Jackson Dart supporter
I had
until the last 3 minutes of last week's game.
that did me in.
I had a lot of Ole Miss on my parlays last week. They burned me pretty good. I
I'm
thought it was
hurt.
great. It's a great spot to back them. They looked so bad. I don't know. They did you see the running plays stuff? Like they ran the ball like 22 times. 9 of it was to a D lineman. 7 of it was to their quarterback. 5 of it was to wide receivers, and they gave their running back like 2 carries. So they ran the ball to all these. Just such a Lane Kiffin game. I don't know that guy. I feel like he tries too hard over coaches. I don't know what it is, but they have all that talent, that portal. They had all that money in the portal and spent all on defensive linemen. They're stacked and 4 losses this year. Like, geez, or 3 losses. Yuck. I like the over in
Yeah,
this game actually, though. Think
Yeah,
it. I don't know. Ole Miss might not give a shit anymore, and they just you know let's score, baby.
let's do it. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from this. I want nowhere near this rivalry game. Georgia at Georgia Tech. Georgia favored by 19.5, over under 53.5. Is this line putting a little bit too much into Georgia Tech's game against Miami?
I don't think it's putting enough.
Do you think Georgia should be favored by less?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I think Georgia might get caught.
Get caught or just not cover? I think that's a bold statement to say they get caught in this one.
I am in a position in the work bets that we've talked about on the show that I will be picking Georgia Tech to win
As a super dog,
and feel confident
it's a super D duper
in
dog.
doing so.
That's a big dog. I will say
What?
Georgia has not impressed me at all this year, but
That's, I listen. Go with God, Jim. That's all I'm gonna say. What
Yeah.
is the money line on that? I'm actually curious. It's got to be like plus
uh,
400.
7-1.
You still sure about this, buddy? It's big.
Yeah, yeah. And the work bets, I'm going to hammer Georgia
What?
Tech.
So what is the? I need to know this for you. What is the benefit of taking this big of a dog?
I'm down enough where like I have to throw a Hail Mary and like I
So
have
like, do
to
you get anything more than a point or a win for this?
it's just a point. So like if I catch it, wow, because I know everybody else is going to pick Georgia. You know what I mean? So I if I can catch
Is
that,
it just a pick 'em?
it's just a pick 'em.
Jesus, why is this game on there? Uh,
I didn't get to pick like this was somebody else's game they wanted to put on. And
okay,
I already used my veto. So
all right.
I'm I'm picking it.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that game. I'll watch it, obviously.
Yeah, I definitely. probably won't put any money on Georgia Tech money line, but yeah, I'll probably stay away. But I'm not a big Georgia fan. I don't know, especially in these kind of games. Maybe
Right.
against superior opponents, but
My
I
theory
stay away.
is anything can throw college football. Like we haven't had, and I talked about it last year. We haven't had our shocking college football the system all year. Like
Oklahoma
last week
over
was
Bama.
that wasn't a big shock. Like Alabama's been trending that way. This would shock the system. This would fuck things up.
It would.
It would
Not
make
lie.
the SEC very mad. That's for
Right.
sure.
It would definitely make the next college football
We're
playoff
just talking about
show.
Ole Miss, and Georgia lost to Ole Miss 28-10. It's pretty nasty. I don't trust Georgia, so I don't think they're well coached. They're not good drunk drivers. They're not
Just good
any of
drivers. I don't think
that.
it has to do with alcohol. They just can't drive.
I
They just drive too fast. They're like,
Anyway, they yeah, stay away though.
so
But
after
I like
this
to see.
week, Kirby Smart will be, I believe, the only national championship winning coach still employed once Mac Brown is done at North Carolina.
Hmm, good tidbit.
Would not, I heard that today. I was like, huh, you're right. Mac Brown does have that, and I don't think there's anybody else really left right now. So Kirby Smart's what we're going to have after this week. Obviously, I think we will have a different coach added to that current head coaching slate after this year, but who knows? Moving into Saturday football, West Virginia traveling to Texas to take on Texas Tech. Texas Tech favored by 3.5 over 64.5. Alex has not given us any intel information thoughts on this. I'm not going to mess with this. Neme, for your reference, I was a WVU season ticket holder this year for the mere fact that it's closest to get to, reasonably priced tickets, and I got to see the Penn State game as the first game of the season as part of that season ticket package.
So you pretty much bought season tickets to get tickets to that game.
Yeah.
It was a big piece of it. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you
I
gonna?
went to other games. I went to other games.
Are you
Uh,
going to be a season ticket holder next year?
I believe there's discussion. Alex's place of employment, we get a discount.
Huh?
It's a pretty significant discount, so I think we're going to continue to do it, um, just because we've got a good setup with tailgating and game day environment stuff. So
That's all. That's all. That's cool. Yeah, maybe the. What do you think? Neil Brown will be around next year, or what do you think?
I doubt it.
Really?
Alex hopes not as well, but
Okay.
based on everything that I'm seeing, it doesn't matter what happens in this game or in any games after this. Neil Brown should be gone.
Yeah, this game's pretty irrelevant for both
Yeah.
teams.
Yep. I'm not going to bet on it, but it's good to bring up the view here and there when Alex isn't around to maybe get some real conversation. Illinois at Northwestern. Illinois favored by 7.5 over under 43.5.
I lean Illinois here. Spread's a little
Crossing
high.
crossing the key number of 7.
Remember, you had Northwestern on your card last week.
I didn't put that on there.
Oh,
Alex
okay.
did.
Okay.
You didn't argue against it.
Yeah, he bought into the parlay like we were gelling.
It was an anti-Michigan pick, so it was tough for you to get away from it,
Right.
I think.
Right.
I don't know. You like them getting 10.5 to Michigan. I don't mind them at home getting 7.5 from Illinois, but
Hey,
it's.
if you know
I have
what?
a Northwestern lean. We'll just say that. I don't think it's
I can be
a
talked
bet.
into it for the parlay. I'll tell you that much.
All right, we'll get to that
We,
definitely later.
yeah,
If I was going to lean anything, I'd lean the under in this game.
All
seems
right.
safe.
Michigan at Ohio State in the game part 2. Ohio State minus 20.5 over under 43.5
Ohio State
to cover.
to cover.
Hammering it. Jim has already said this.
Yep.
Nemi, are you somebody that does not bet on your team of choice?
Um, I don't bet on favorites giving 19 and big tough rivalry games, especially Ohio State off that big Indiana game. Um, I don't know. I don't. Obviously, they weren't looking ahead to this game or whatever, but I don't know. The tough game last week, Michigan maybe got some confidence last week, beating up on Northwestern. Just gonna
Ohio
stay
State's
away.
not going to lay up.
I'm gonna stay away. Um, It is odd. I talked pre-show that the over under 43. It's been over 8 straight years. Obviously, different regimes, hardball, whatever. But I'm gonna stay away and enjoy the game. Hopefully, Ohio State wins, and that's kind of all that matters. But 19 seems like kind of a lot until it's not. But,
Is it at
but
19 now? I had it earlier at
I have covers up, and it's showing 19. But what did you have? Sorry.
20 and a half at FanDuel earlier today.
Okay, so it's going the other way a little bit. But what do you got? What do you got, Muff?
Ah, sure. I'll just say Ohio State to cover because why not? I really
I,
not invested in this game like you all.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet it.
I honestly think once Ohio State scores, they don't look back and they just beat the living shit out of them this year. I think Ryan Day, his job depends on it. I think the players know that and they like Ryan Day. I think that like this is going to be a fucking bloodbath.
It's a good
That's
game
what I think.
for quarterbacks to get cooking. Jeremiah Smith and I'll get his guys. They didn't really do too much throwing last week,
Yeah.
so Will Howard maybe gets it going this week.
Plus, I think Michigan's got two DBs hurt.
Yeah, they're beat up in the secondary. Obviously, they played Northwestern last week. Not a team that can hurt them in the secondary. So you could be definitely right. They probably get exposed.
I just think it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I can again, no bet for me, but I can see both ways.
So Ryan Day's family comes out of this game not in fear for their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he cannot lose this game. I'll tell you that. Like, if he
Well,
loses this game, he might be fired tomorrow.
Right, I understand that whole part, but if they win by like 2 touchdowns, is his family still like in fear?
No, I mean, a win's a
No,
win.
everyone's worried about the college football playoff anyway.
No, that's not true either.
If they win, I'm just saying, if they
Jim,
win by 10, they're just going to worry about the college football playoff.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 That's all I'm saying.
But like Saturday is huge right now.
Yeah.
Like the town was alive this Saturday, like for the Indiana game. Like it was, you could feel it. Probably for the first time in a long time, you could feel the smoke in Columbus. But it's tight right now. Like they're ready for Saturday.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Trevion Henderson, there's some guys that came back not just for this game, but to win a title and to definitely beat Michigan as part of it.
So. I mean, Tressel's already said he's going to be in the stadium for the first time in years. Like, people are coming home to see this fucking ass beating.
It should be.
That overconfidence is always
something
that I like to temper.
Buddy.
I just don't like that as somebody who would have to deal with the aftermath in conversations.
Jim, you're talking me into betting some Ohio State. What you're doing? Because I was kind of not sure. Now I'm kind of leaning that way.
I'm just telling you the vibe here in Columbus.
Why don't we throw them in the little parlay thing?
He said
because
you
Cox have not been Cox.
That's right. Dang it.
Ohio State and Penn State.
That's right. You're right.
And Indiana, is Indiana excluded as well since they've had some of that shine?
Well, I don't know. I have to see if I put
TBD.
Yeah, they've had. I'll take them out. You're right.
They've just had some shine. That's all.
They have. You're right.
All right. Tennessee at Vanderbilt. Tennessee favored by 10.5 over under 48.5. I feel like this is a Vandy spot.
Diego.
Oh, Diego. What is he? He's suing the NCAA.
Yeah. He's like a little banged up too. I don't know.
This is a rivalry.
I think this is a Vandy spot. I just don't know how confident I am in it.
This is a rivalry, if you ask the Tennessee fans. This is a thing. Historically, Tennessee has always beat the dog shit out of them. If there was ever a moment that I would love to see Vandy win, this would be it. Not as much chaos as the Georgia loss would be, but it's there. You know what? I just talked myself into it. Give me Vandy.
Just talk myself into it.
Vandy
that would kick. Vandy happened to win that game. That would kick Tennessee out of the playoff, right?
I don't think so.
Really? So you think a 3-loss Tennessee would be in?
Are they a 3-loss or
They have 2 losses right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
They'd have to be out. They haven't beat anybody. I don't think they'd beat anybody.
No, right. So yeah, they'd be out because they're the
they did beat Alabama.
Well, that looks
everyone else.
Looks
right.
Exciting now.
So they lost to Arkansas, lost to Georgia.
But does that open the door for another SEC team?
Alabama, maybe get back in potentially.
That would be the
God, that
team that
was
would
stupid.
benefit, I think.
Yeah.
Either that or potentially the next game, South Carolina at Clemson. Clemson's favored by 2.5 over 49.5.
Give me South Carolina.
I surprise and shocking that Jim's going to take a sad Dabo.
I'm so hoping for the ultimate Saturday. Like this is my Saturday. A Michigan loss to Ohio State and a sad Dabo. Oh, be the best Saturday ever.
I'm
And
I'm
touchdown
with you.
Jesus.
A touchdown Jesus loss would be whew.
I'm going to stay away from the South Carolina Clemson game. Definitely has a potential implications depending on what shakes out ahead of them in the playoff rankings. So both these teams should be motivated. Next, we have Kansas at Baylor. Kansas favored by 1.5 over under 61.5. Kansas coming off the win against Colorado, as well as who did they play the week before? Remind me, it was another ranked team.
They beat everybody.
Yeah, they've been on a tear over the
Colorado,
past.
BYU, Iowa State, three
Yeah,
straight.
so I'm gonna take Kansas to cover in this game. Uh, give them staying on that roll, getting the cover.
Going Baylor.
You're going Baylor. Ooh,
Yeah, I think, like I said, three straight tough games. Now, Baylor, like little old Baylor. Baylor's sneakily been playing really well. Finally got their quarterback situation figured out. That guy's playing
is
pretty good.
Baylor a 7-win team right now? Or are they
Baylor
6, hoping to get to 7?
Baylor is 7-4,
Okay, thought
so
they were a 7-win team.
they're bowl eligible,
Yeah,
and they've won five straight games.
yeah.
So,
This
um,
is like a sneaky great matchup for this
yep,
week.
at home. Yeah, I looked at the over as well. Should be some points. But yeah, Baylor. I don't know what line you have, 1.5 or something like
One
that
and a
too.
half. So
But
yeah,
1.5, yeah. Throwing my money line underdog. So I think it,
yeah.
no, not bad.
Small underdog, but
Yep, we'll
nonetheless an
take it.
underdog.
Yep.
Jim, thoughts?
I don't want anything to do with this game.
All right. Touchdown Jesus traveling across the country to take on USC. Notre Dame favored by 7.5 over under 51.5.
I mean, I would like to see it. I'm not going to take it. I would love to see USC not suck.
I just don't know where the
But
motivation is for that team at this point. That's the problem.
yeah, I don't either.
They've had all
Uh,
of these close games, all of these blown leads. Like they're 4 quarters away from being in the college football playoff conversation.
I was not a fan of their quarterback switch. That Jordan Mayo, Miller Moss is better than Jordan Mayo. So,
I agree. So I'm
um,
gonna stay away from this.
this is under for me. Run the ball on each other. Notre Dame's been scoring a lot of points. They've also been playing teams that have a corpse of a defense like Army and Navy and stuff like that. So
Whoa! Support the troops.
I support troops, but not their defense. They can defend us though. Um, I think they're going to run the ball at each other, and like I said, that Miami guy is not very good. So well, under.
All right, Jim. Any other thoughts aside from the disdain for touchdown Jesus?
I mean, I just don't think USC has it.
That's perfectly understandable. Next, we have Florida at Florida State. Florida minus 14.5, over under 45.5. Thank you, Florida State, finally getting your second win of the season last week over Charleston Southern. Congrats. Give me Florida to cover.
I got a little tidbit. Do you guys know the line at the beginning of the season, game of the year line?
Florida State 6.5.
Jim, any guesses?
No idea.
Florida State was minus 11.5. That's a 27-point change in line.
Wow.
Yep. And they deserve every piece of it. Florida State is terrible. But no play for me that game. That is, I mean, people can say Florida State gets up for this game fine. Like they haven't got up all year, so there is no such thing as getting up for this game. They suck.
Yeah, I think all motivation has disappeared.
People that had their win loss, like their over win total bets, lost in like week 3.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
mean, how
silly.
many of these players have one foot out the door at this point?
Yep.
Yeah, they lost all these recruits, and I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Their coach hasn't won a game without that quarterback that they had last year. He's just a terrible record without him.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take Florida to cover. Give me the Gators.
I'll go with you. I don't think that's a bad pick.
Washington at Oregon. Oregon favored by 18.5 over under 50.5. That's just
I'm staying away.
this Oregon just does what they got to do to get by. Play for the Big Ten championship game.
Line seems pretty high.
It did seem a little high to me, but I just don't. I don't know if I don't know. Washington's
Oh,
just
I saw. You
Washington
know what
this
I heard?
year.
Washington's beaten them three straight times, so there could be some motivation there for Oregon to,
The
instead
shit of
of
it
thinking about
is,
the playoff, beat the
This is
actual
just
hell
like a
out of them.
Michigan Ohio State situation then.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly
except
right.
if we lose, we don't. We're that kills us. If they lose, nothing matters.
You sure it
I
kills
don't.
Ohio State?
No. I'll tell you right now. I think they still get in. They're the favorite. Ohio State is the
We don't
favorite
play
to
for
win it
the.
all.
We don't play for the Big Ten championship.
No, but I think they'd still
Oregon
get in the
does.
playoff. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
they're
right.
still in the
You're right.
playoff, Jim.
They're still in the playoff, though, in my opinion. But let's not talk about Ohio State possibly losing.
Yeah, we're not
Not gonna
losing.
happen.
I
Not gonna
mean, you
happen.
guys brought it up. I'm just saying that they'll still be in the playoff
But my whole thing in bringing it up is that if Oregon loses, like they got it all locked in, so why play their starters? Like why not?
to get the number one seed.
That and the three straight losses to Washington does
Yeah.
definitely does
I
not
wouldn't.
sit well with them.
I wouldn't, because then you go to the Big Ten championship, and then you have your whole team's fresh, and then you're playing probably Ohio State.
Rest versus rest, Jim. Say it in the NFL all the time. What happens?
No, I don't know. I would be on a snap count with Dylan Gabriel. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a Heisman hope anymore. Done.
Like
They've been kind of laying off for like the whole season. They get kind of a lead in the third quarter and then they just back off. So
I and what's his face Lanning is a smart guy. I don't see them covering. I would even say the under.
I'd lean your way. No official plays, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
Washington's good.
I'll get on board with that with you too. Next, Nebraska at Iowa. Iowa favored by 3.5 over under 39.5.
I like Iowa here.
Is this an over game?
Yeah, you gonna do it,
Hmm.
Muff?
Uh, I think I have to in the last game of the season. Last
I
year
mean, you
was
don't
the
have to make it your
last.
best bet. You could
Uh,
contribute that to the parlay.
okay, that's where that'll go then. I'm okay with that.
I'm on the opposite. I think
Oh
Nebraska
no.
finally got off the schneid, got bowl eligible first time in 3 years, and they continued the momentum against
I'm going with the over.
oh, okay, sorry. I'm on Nebraska. Sorry, I thought you guys were
Yeah.
stuck around Iowa.
Well,
Yeah,
Jim, I
Iowa,
think
Iowa
was
worked good with
Jim
them.
was leaning Iowa. I was going towards the
Okay.
over.
Yeah, I kind of like Nebraska. Hopefully to I don't Iowa's got some their quarterbacks again. Here we go again with bad quarterback play from Iowa. They do run the ball down people's throat.
Yeah.
Nebraska's strength, I think, is stopping the run. I think they can ever since they got your guy Dana Holgerson at helping
Yeah.
Raiola out. Ever since they got him, they've looked a lot better.
Saying,
Not saying he's good or whatever, but
he's not bad.
yeah, he's I mean, as an offensive assistant, I'm sure he's
Yeah,
more than allowed to do that and more than
he's he's involved.
viable.
We'll put it
Yeah,
that way.
exactly. So I'm going to go with Nebraska money line probably.
Bingo. Maryland at Penn State. Penn State favored by 24.5 over under 50.5.
Don't say it. Don't fucking say it.
Penn State to cover.
Thank you.
What do you think I was going to do?
Just win, baby. Just win.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, just win. That's exactly what they need to do. Doesn't matter to me, but I think they're going to cover this one. Senior day,
I was gonna get so mad.
have a day. Listen, Jim, just win. That's all they need to do. That is all they need to do. I just think this is a game where they actually cover.
Here's something for you. I have no play in the game, by the way. Penn State should probably destroy them. Maryland's terrible, especially if their quarterback's out. Um, Penn State, Georgia, college football playoff potential matchup. And I was hearing a pick 'em line.
Hmm.
Where would you go with something like that?
I'd lean Penn State.
Oh, I go Penn State
Over Georgia?
Yeah.
playing in state college. Probably going to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
20-ish degrees,
Fucking freezing.
maybe
Yep.
some snow. Like, I'm sorry. We're really going to find out, especially if the Northeast hosts these first round
Yep.
matchups, how dedicated the college football playoff system is
Yep.
to allowing these first round
Yep.
home
Notre
use
Dame's
home
another one.
stadiums.
Notre Dame would be
Right.
another one potentially.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
mean, Ohio State potentially.
I
Yep.
hope, I hope Boise gets knocked out. I like Boise. I want to make the playoffs, but I don't want to see Ohio State and Boise in that first round. I want to see Ohio State and anybody
So
from the South.
SMU or something. Yeah.
Bring them to the horseshoe in December, please.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I wanted to see it happen, but I also
Mm-hmm.
see what the potential fallout is if those teams lobby against it later on if most of
Yep.
them lose.
Yep.
Right? He's like, oh, well, we need neutral site games because that is more sense, and we can get more money for the college football playoff out of this instead of
Mm-hmm.
these home stadiums and these home teams. So, but I want to see it
And
year. I
that's
want to
horse
see it
shit too,
year.
Muff.
I want to see it
Because
year one.
that's horseshit. You don't think the Horseshoe and Happy Valley aren't going to be sold the fuck out? Them
Right,
tickets are going to be through the roof.
but they're not like NFL stadiums with all these corporate boxes in the same way. Right? I'm not gonna say they
Okay.
don't have box seats, but it's we're gonna be able to bring money into the economy in these areas and blah blah blah. Like I already know the taglines that are gonna come out. Doesn't mean I agree with them, but I already know what they're gonna be.
Yeah, they'd be wrong in those two stadiums.
Right? Well, it's just like what you do for the Super Bowl. Right? You
Bring it.
just here we go. I'm down.
Bring it to those two spots,
Yep.
please.
Purdue at Indiana. Indiana favored by 20 and a half over under 56 and a half.
I put this in there. Do you think Indiana covers?
I think they should.
But do they?
They have the motivation to run this one up.
Yeah.
From
I think
from a pure standpoint of we need to not be in a 1 to 2 score game so that our ranking stays where it is.
I think Signetti just has a chip on his shoulder after last week and just burns Purdue down.
And when you say run it up, they're literally going to run the ball down their throat
Yep.
100 times, down their throat again and again.
Yep.
Does the running the ball down their throat cover 29? I don't know. Who could say? I'm probably going to stay away, but
I'm
could be
gonna
a
stay
bloodbath.
away too, but
Could be a bloodbath.
yeah, this is the Marshawn Lynch and over and over and over and
Yep,
over.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got going on here. Next we have the Iron Bowl, Auburn at Alabama. Bama favored by 11 and a half over under 52 and a half. A lot of the sexy picks are going with Auburn plus the points here.
Bama or Auburn might put a fork in him.
That's
Jim,
tough.
you were on this early that Bama ain't Bama.
Mm-hmm.
A toughness factor and team cohesiveness and, as you would say, the tiki-talkies.
Yep.
So what Bama needs a win and some help, you would think?
Yeah.
They need at least one team ahead of them to drop out.
Yeah. I don't know. And where's Auburn just they're at home and probably been partying all week. Just won that game. Over double, triple overtime. Oh, that's tough. It's a game I don't have a lean on. It's tough game I could see. I also heard something about Auburn's pretty good against mobile quarterbacks as well, especially this year. I think they held Pavia in check, and that was what the Oklahoma. They had the mobile guy for a little bit. Um, so I don't know. Maybe some under. Nothing too much. Just leans.
I mean, Auburn's figured out how to throw a forward pass over the past few weeks, so I mean
Oh,
that
dude,
helps them.
their quarterback's so bad. I can't watch. That's like Will Levis. That guy reminds me of Will Levis, just whipping it. He's made some bad interceptions this year. Had some bad times.
This is
I
like
remember the
This is
Oklahoma
like
one more than anything.
Jameis Tampa Bay.
There you go. Yeah,
Right.
that
That's
guy. I don't trust that Auburn quarterback at all.
yeah, but interesting game to watch nonetheless. Miami, Florida at Syracuse. Canes favored by 10 and a half over under 67 and a half.
I'm not gonna make this the best bet, as I see you're about to do. I I want to see Syracuse win this game. Don't That's the only time I'll say it, Kyle McCord, but I want to see Syracuse win this game.
I am on Syracuse plus the points.
There you go.
Miami has been underperforming all year, has been in close games. I think this is the one where they get got.
All right.
Again.
Again, well, they get got.
They lost as
Got.
double-digit favorites earlier this year to Georgia Tech, right?
Yeah. I think this is another one of those kind of spots. I'm gonna take the points, but there may be a sprinkle on Syracuse money line.
I like it. I'm hoping for my Heisman ticket that Gabriel throw or that
Yeah.
Cam Ward throws for 15 touchdowns or something. That's my only.
Uh,
That's my only hope.
hey, listen, the score can be 88 to 87
That's true.
Syracuse.
And it just might be. What do we think about the over?
That's
It's
that's in
high.
play. It's in
It's
play.
high. It's high. Yeah.
Remember, this isn't a dome.
I don't. If
Yep.
it's that high, Kyle McCord's not getting that high. I'm sorry, guys. Like Kyle McCord doesn't. Is
I
not
think
that
I
kind of
think you're
guy.
giving Miami, Florida too much defense too much credit here, Jim.
I'm saying he doesn't have the arm to go to 80 points.
Why do you root against
Yeah, I
fighting?
remember the. You could give the other team 80 points if you guys remember the Pitt game.
Right. Like
I mean, that's his outlier this year, though, right? Other than that, he
Yeah.
hasn't been terrible.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine.
Serviceable. Just had a really bad half.
Yep.
Texas at Texas A&M. Horns up, favored by 5.5, over under 48.5. I think this is the most intriguing matchup of the week.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think Texas can handle it.
I'm not going to take anything. There's no best bets here. I would take A&M plus the points.
Let me ask some questions. Who do you guys think is the best team that Texas has beat this year? It's either Michigan,
No,
Florida,
I mean, trending
maybe.
or
that way right now, yes, Florida, but not when they beat
Arkansas.
them. I would say at the time it was Arkansas. I think right now it's Florida.
So there you go. But my point is, are those any of those impressing anybody?
No, that's
So
why I like
you
A&M.
can only beat who you play, right? I do.
Mhm.
That's an argument. So they lost to Georgia, which was the best team they played, and they beat everyone else. But the best teams were
Yeah,
being Michigan, Arkansas, Florida,
yeah,
Vanderbilt by 3. I think A&M off that loss, for anybody they were there. I guess they were the last cut for my money line dog parlay. I think
yeah.
they're live at home.
Hmm.
Texas
And
is probably in no matter what to the
right,
playoff, I would assume. And A&M needs to win, and I think they can get
A&M's
in
if
potentially.
A&M wins, they can be in the SEC
That's
championship game.
Yep, and then they could possibly be in the playoffs. So
Yeah. So I think there's all the motivation for
they're live.
A&M.
Yep.
A&M, what I've been hearing in this game is this is one of really the only games aside from the Georgia game that Texas is playing against a formidable defensive line, and that could be the difference in how they protect or don't protect the quarterback.
Yep, I'm good with that, Cap. Jim, what'd you say about this game?
I think Texas will cover it.
Quinn Ewers make it the whole way through the game?
Do what?
Does Quinn Ewers make it the whole way through the game?
Yes.
We see Arch in this one?
No.
Not in your mind because they cover. All right,
I don't
Oklahoma
think
at
we'll see Arch again for the rest of the year.
$5.
No.
What about after the year? What happens? Someone transfer or what?
Arch is going to keep collecting that check. What are you talking about?
You really think
Yeah.
he's going to keep holding the clipboard and collecting the check?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
He's a
Ah,
Manning. He ain't going nowhere.
all right. So what? They're going to have both quarterbacks next year? That's what I mean. Unless Quinn goes to the league. I don't know.
Right. That would yeah, Manning's gonna stay there. What yours does, I don't know.
Okay.
Oklahoma at LSU. LSU favored by 5.5 over to 47.5.
LSU spot for me.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
Oklahoma. Like I
Oklahoma, I
said,
think.
Oklahoma just got that upset win.
Mhm.
Now they're going into the Bayou.
I
I'm
definitely think Oklahoma overperformed last week,
Oh
110%.
for sure. Oh for sure. And that was probably their season's was over and they played spoiler and now I'm on LSU. I think it's a play that yep, it's one of my -5, 5.5, whatever you got. That's good by me.
Yep.
I'm staying. I'm so want Brian Kelly out so bad that I'm like any opinion I have on this is biased. So I'm staying away.
Yeah. I lean towards the LSU to cover based on everything that was been discussed. And last, Big 12 matchup, Kansas State at Iowa State. Iowa State favored by 2.5 over under 51.5. Are we going to get which version of these teams are we going to get? The good versions or the bad versions?
Big 12 's such a shit show.
Coin
Yeah.
flip.
It's an absolute shit. Even before the year when I was like placing my win total bets and conference bets, and I was like, the Big 12 is literally up in the air, and it is still up in the air to this day. So wild.
It'll be up in the air potentially until this game ends on
That's
Saturday
yeah,
night.
exactly. I did place a what did I get, like 10-1 parlay I did on FanDuel. Shout out the sponsor. Um,
Unofficial,
it was
unofficial
Iowa
sponsor.
unofficial sponsor. Yeah. Iowa State to win the Big 12 with SMU to win the ACC. So Iowa State got some help last week. So maybe they
Mhm.
win this game and get on in. We'll see.
We'll see. Obviously, I'll watch this game. This will be fun to watch. Don't really care otherwise. It will be fun to hear what Alex has to say about this one after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That wraps up our NFL and college football discussion, which brings us into our best bets. Let's
I'm good to go, Muff.
have at it, buddy.
I'm going to take in the NFL Lions minus 10.5, Texans against the Bears, Texans minus 4.5 against the Jags, Seahawks minus 1.5 against the Jets, and the Broncos minus 5.5 against the Browns. In college football, I'm taking Bowling Green minus 2.5 against Miami. I'm gonna do away with this one because I'm gonna put it. You know what? No, I'm taking that out of there. I'm going to take South Carolina money line against Clemson, Ohio State minus 20.5 against Michigan, Vandy plus 10.5 against Tennessee, and Florida 14.5 against Florida State.
You can take South Carolina money line. You're not going to take the points.
Nope.
That's how much you hate Dabo.
Yep.
All right. My lineup in the college football world goes Bowling Green to cover 2.5, hosting Miami, Ohio, Kansas to cover 1.5, heading to Baylor, Florida to cover 14.5 at Florida State, Penn State to cover 24.5, hosting Maryland, Syracuse plus the points, getting 10.5, hosting Miami, Florida. And in the NFL, I got the Jags plus the points, 4.5, hosting the Texans, Steelers, Bengals under 47 in an AFC North matchup. Titans plus the points, 5.5, playing the Commanders, and the Broncos covering 5.5, hosting the Browns. Nemi, what
And
you got?
I'll go with not as official as you guys that have the opponents, but I did write down the picks. So I think I'm against Jim, and I'm going to go with the Bears plus 10. Hope for a close game on Thanksgiving Day. The Falcons plus 1.5 in the Dome, and the Rams minus 2.5. Hopefully they get a little bounce back from last week. And then some college games, some that we talked about. LSU minus 5.5 that we talked about. The Notre Dame USC under 51.5 that we talked about. And the Clemson South Carolina over 49.5. I think this should be a little bit of a shootout there at noon on Saturday. I do some money line underdog round robins, some parlays. So for those, I like Nebraska to win as an underdog, Baylor to win as an underdog, South Carolina to win as an underdog, and UTSA is one of my favorite plays of the week. We didn't talk about that, but
Taking the meat
a little
meeps.
special one for you. Yep. I think they're catching 6.5 or 7.5. I like that too. It's probably one of my favorite plays of the week. And we didn't talk about Arizona State, which I thought was interesting. Arizona State's kind of been treading water lately, just kind of winning, trying to get by, squeak by. Big rivalry game at Arizona. Arizona's got McMillan and Fafita, and they got some talent still. I think they give Arizona State all they can handle, and they're getting 9 at home. That's way too much. And that's about it for me.
Right.
All right.
For the listeners, can you describe how the round robin works?
Sure. So usually I do 4 to 5 teams, and there's a function on FanDuel that you can, and even DraftKings or whatever, any sports we're using, where you can kind of what round robin does is you take the 4 teams and you put them into parlays by 2 and by 3 and by 4. That way, if you only win 2 of the 4 games, you still win that 2 team parlay. But if you end up winning 3 or 4 of the money line dogs, since they're money line underdogs, they kind of multiply a lot because the odds are bad or odds are good, I guess I should say. And then if you hit all 4, you hit all your 2 team parlays, all your 3 team combinations, and then the 4 team combination, and it kind of turns into a heck of a day if you can hit all those. So I recommend 4 teams, maybe 5 teams, and round robining it by 2, by 3, and by 4, just to get the best payout. And you can only have to put a couple dollars on it, $2,
Yeah,
$1, $3, and you could still win 800, 900 if they all happen to win. So I think it's fun to do that.
indeed. Indeed. We've not talked about round robins on here. I've dabbled very lightly in that. I don't mess with it much, though.
Yep.
All right, let's get us into our specialty picks. Starting first with the Mike All Stott Hit Stick Pick of the Week.
Pow, pow, pow.
All right, I mean, this is the lock pick. This is the one that consensus of the group we think is the best chance to win. It does have to be a spread or over underline. We can't take like huge favorites here.
Yep. Sounded like we were pretty aligned with, let's see. I know you were not, Ohio State? Is that an option? Muff? No?
No.
I defer to Jim if that's even part of the consideration.
All right.
I mean, I'm betting on it, but we can't jinx it that far off.
Fair
That's what
enough.
I wanted
Fair
to
enough.
ask. I'm gonna defer to that one. Um, what else do we got brewing here? Broncos? No.
I think I'm fine. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, me too, Muff.
Let me look. Let me just see if there's anything else here. Florida.
Oh, South Carolina? Whoa, what about that one?
We've got Florida against Florida State, the Broncos, and I can be talked into South Carolina for consideration if we want to.
I was saving South Carolina for the money line dog.
Okay.
Oh, let's go with the Broncos then.
Broncos or Florida? I'm fine with either.
I'm good with either.
Jim, do you have a preference?
I would hammer the Broncos.
Or do we need to go to the light?
Oh, we're not doing the light.
The light's not going to pick today.
No.
I mean, so you know, we have a like an emergency push light
Yep.
that has been a deciding factor in some of our arguments this year.
There you go. Love that. It's like a roll of the dice.
It is a
Yeah.
coin. It is a coin flip.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take the Broncos to cover 5.5, hosting the Browns in the NFL for the Mike Allstott Hit Stick Pick of the Week. Next in the Midwest Mobster Risky Pick of the Week.
Get out of here.
Jim has already put up South Carolina,
Good with it.
I also could go with the Steelers.
which I'm not.
Fine with that too.
You know what, Jim? I'm just gonna hope for a good weekend for you. I can get on board with South Carolina money line.
Okay.
South Carolina money line at Clemson for the risky pick of the week. Next in the sell the nutting team Bob parlay.
Oh,
Tell you, Alex has a better noise for you than that, Jim.
sorry, buddy.
Although you were both premature at times. All right. Are we going to allow Alex to be a part of this?
He's not here. He's drinking.
He's drinking. We'll still get his best bets in at a later time. Alex is out. We've got the hit stick pick in for sure. And Neme, since you're the guest, you get the first crack at a game after that.
What is it? What is this?
This
Your
is
lock for the week.
this is a best bet of yours that goes into a 4-leg parlay.
Got it. So
So
we call these buddy lays when your buddies all put in a pick and you take pretty much it used to be where one person bets it and then they take turns and then it turned into everyone just betting it for a couple bucks every day. But
I feel like I have the name set for next year. Buddy
okay,
Lay Parlay.
the buddy lay with your parlay with your buddies. The buddy lay.
I love this.
All right, awesome. I'm gonna go with the Notre Dame USC under 52.5
Ooh.
or 51.5, whatever line you got.
Whatever line you got is what we're going
50,
to do.
52.5 is probably what I would go with.
All right, James.
Give me Florida minus 14.5.
Oh, let's see where I want to go to the well on this one. Oh, give me Penn State to cover.
All right, Muff.
Penn State
All
covered
right.
24.5, hosting Maryland on Senior Day in Beaver Stadium, Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. Have a day.
Good for you, Muff. All right, so the
Freaking
Fox are
day.
still Cox parlay.
Still.
The game's on the table. Now you have two stills, Muff. What are you doing?
Still.
Still Cox. The
Does that
game's on
mean
the
does that mean
table.
they're flaccid, still, erect? What's still
Oh,
mean? Is still what is still a state of being
you want
or
me to change it to remain Cox? Like, what do you want?
How
I'm just curious. Just want to know
about
where
just
you're going with
Fox
that.
R Cox?
Yeah,
Straight
this
to the
is
point.
this is chapter 2.
Okay.
Illinois at Northwestern. What do you want to do? You want to do -7.5? You want to do +7.5 for Northwestern? You want the over/under? What is the verdict to your team?
Can we come back to that one?
All right, Minnesota at Wisconsin. Wisconsin -1.5. Over and under 41.5.
Um, I would go towards the under in that game.
Under's fine.
Under it is. Okay. We all decided on the over in the Nebraska Iowa game.
Did we all
Fine.
decide that?
Yeah,
I
I'm
just want
fine.
to make sure.
That's fine.
Okay.
yeah,
Nebraska for me, but the over's fine.
cool. Washington at Oregon. I put down Washington plus the points.
I think we were all pretty in line with that.
Yeah, I think I'm all right with that.
Rutgers at Michigan State. Michigan State -1.5. Over under 47.5.
Give me the home team here.
Good with that.
Okay, look at that.
How do you feel about that, Jim? You're the closet Rutgers fan. Greg
I'm
I was gonna
pretty
Schiano.
solid
say
with that.
either Michigan State or the under probably, but
I'm pretty solid with Michigan State.
Okay.
So now we're back to the Illinois at Northwestern.
now I'm on Northwestern just because it was in the parlay last week. You know how I'm feeling about that, but
You know what? In honor of you, I could go that way.
isn't it honor? Wasn't it Alex's pick last week? You said,
Yeah, but
or
you're pretty solid right now.
Ah.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do
well, how
Northwestern
about
plus.
since Alex not here, we'll honor him. That's what it is.
All right.
So we can
All right.
blame Alex if this loses
I'm
again.
okay with that too.
I see all the shifting of blame
I love
here.
this.
This
So we're
is-
taking Illinois at Northwestern.
Only
Northwestern
if Muff
plus
agrees.
7.5.
Only if Muff agrees. Only if Muff
He's not
agrees.
going to.
I'm just saying, you just made Alex the fall guy.
Yeah,
What would you
that's
like in that bet though? What would you like in that game, Muff?
That's why I wanted to come back to it last because I am that
It's tough.
I'm just totally unsure in all angles of this bet.
I
Totally
mean, welcome to
unsure.
the show. You're not going to get him
Is there
to
a
give
coin
me
to
a tip.
flip? Did you say there was a coin to
Go to
flip?
light.
That's I will leave that up to you two. We can go to the light. You guys just have to tell me what the light is flipping for. Is it for an over under or is it for a
What's your?
spread?
How about this? So, the light will be flipping for either Northwestern plus the 7.5, or what's your favorite pick on the over under if you had to pick one?
Under.
Jim?
I would go with the under.
Okay, so one light is under, one light's Northwestern. How about that?
Who's gonna choose which side is the light?
Jim can do it.
The light is the under.
The light is never the under. We're going undies, boys.
All right, there we go.
All
Alex
right.
got out of it. Alex got out of it. Alex got it.
It did take part of the fun away from that, but so it's now Northwestern.
Muff was not on board. Muff was not.
He was not.
I was not on board of you guys blaming Alex if it lost. That's what I was not on board with.
That was the best part.
If you guys would have just said this is what we feel, I would have been like, okay. But then you said, well, this is in honor of Alex, which means this is Alex's pick, which means Alex is in trouble.
Yeah.
The
That's
best
why
part.
At
I
least you
didn't
guys
agree.
have some fun storylines for next week.
Right.
When you review.
All right, so in the Fox are still Cox parlay. Illinois at Northwestern under 43.5. Minnesota at Wisconsin under 41.5. Nebraska at Iowa over 39.5. Washington plus 18.5 at Oregon, and Rutgers at Michigan State -1.5. Michigan State's -1.5.
Good
And
by me.
that is the Fox or Still Cox parlay.
And if the Fox or Still Cox parlay hits, along with a great day on Saturday for the Ohio State fans in this podcast, a great day on Saturday for the Penn State fan base, and maybe sad days in certain parts of South Carolina with old Dabo having a frown. And South Carolina turned that frown upside down. If all this happens, we're going to have a
Payday.